So here I am. I'm finally about to start this journey that I've been putting off for what seems like a lifetime. I feel emotional, excited, very nostalgic, and open to what this journey will bring, open to what I'll learn, to what I'll see, to the family that I've never met. I can't wait. So after almost 10 hours of traveling, of checkpoints, of luggage searches and body searches and interrogations, I am finally in the land of my ancestors, where my great-great-grandfather was born. I am in Jerusalem. Today is my second day in Jerusalem. And as you know, yesterday it took me quite a while to get here, but after I checked into my hotel, I went walking through the streets of Jerusalem during the afternoon and the evening. And what struck me the most was the unspoken tension that everybody was just letting off. The energy was so very different to Jordan. In Jordan, even though people are quite poor, there is a sense of happiness and joy and hospitality. I didn't feel that, unfortunately, at all. I even went down to the Church of the Sepulchre, which is the holiest place for Christians. And I thought that I would feel something more, but I didn't. It was just a little sad. There was a sadness there that this place that is the nerve of the world for the three major religions couldn't come together in peace and love. And there was just so much fear. Anyway, I'm hoping that today will be different. We'll see. I woke up this morning to a ton of private messages and comments of my Facebook page. Most of them were really supportive and loving and kind. Some of them, not so much. For the record, I'd like to state I am not anti-Semitic. I am, however, anti-occupation. And I'd like to see everybody living in this city, in this country, with equal rights, with dignity, with hope. It might be naive of me to think that we can achieve this, but if we don't speak up and if we don't question our government's actions, any government's actions, how can anything change for anyone? My sister said to me, please don't forget to try and find the beauty in Jerusalem. And I haven't. I toured the whole city, in and outside of the walls. And it was truly spectacular. And everywhere I went, people would say, God promised us this land. And that kind of blew my mind. Because although I respect history and although I respect everybody's religious beliefs, what makes you think that you're better than anyone else and that you're entitled to live with dignity and someone else is not? I believe that there is a place in our lives for history because we have to know where we came from. But even more important, I believe that it's our responsibility to create a world for the future. Right now, I don't see a lot of hope. But I'm traveling to Tel Aviv and to Jaffa today to meet with some other people that are fighting for equal rights in this country. So I spent the day in Jaffa and Tel Aviv, and as I said in my previous entry, I was searching for a glimmer of hope. I didn't find it. People here are very, very separated. They seem to have no idea what's going on just a couple of hours away. This trip is proving to be more and more depressing, and I'm really hoping that I feel some sort of peace when I go to Bethlehem tomorrow. This is my first glimpse of the wall. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it starts all the way over there. Okay, I'm in Bethlehem, and maybe it's psychological, but I'm finding it really, really hard to breathe. I'm very claustrophobic, so knowing that I'm inside these walls is making me very claustrophobic. I'm waiting for my auntie. She should be here any minute now, hopefully. and I don't feel good. I don't really want to be here. I'm hoping it's going to get better. Greetings from Bethlehem, Christmas Eve. My first impressions are that Bethlehem and most of the West Bank are kind of like a very, very confined ghetto. It's poor. There are restrictions on water, electricity. There's no money. There's nothing to do. The unemployment rate is through the roof. You can work for $5 a day, the equivalent of $5 a day, to try and feed your family here in the West Bank. Or you can try and get a visa and work in Israel. But it's very difficult and takes hours to cross the border. In the back there is a huge settlement that's separated by the wall, Israeli settlement, where there are no restrictions on anything. The injustice is overwhelming. I certainly don't condone any type of violence on either side. But the frustration that I have already witnessed and experienced makes me question, where are we going to go from here?
Okay, so I work like as a tour guide, and I work like as a photographer. So this apartheid wall, it's separate Bethlehem from Jerusalem and doesn't give any chance to Palestinians to have any peace. They are very angry about this. So we want to send a message to the people to make them understand how the occupation is very ugly here and how they are like controlling our life, and we want to have freedom and justice. And we don't want to see this apartheid wall.
And what about this demonstration that's going to happen here? Do you know much about that?
That's going to happen because people, they are poor people, they don't have any jobs, they don't have any work. They get so angry from the life. They get so angry from the occupation. So that's why they are doing the demonstration here.
What is the key?
The key, that's where he's living before 48 in that Nazareth in Haifa and Akka, and the key, that's for the door in the home for the people living here. He's back to his belief back again.
And here is that wall again. It's really like a ghetto. It's dirty, nobody picks up the trash. But there is art, which is beautiful and incredibly sad at the same time. This is their school here. So I'm here with 4 kids that are at the wall that are throwing stones. I guess they're training, they say, because they don't know who they're throwing stones at. And they're all between the ages of 10 and 12. They live here at the Haida refugee camp. وانتوا عايشين هون? You live here? وشو بتفكروا عن الوضع هون؟
شو وضع؟
كله هذا الوضع. Okay, we have to go because they're gonna start like throwing stuff. We gotta go. They started shooting. We gotta go now. We gotta go. Okay, that was a close call. They started shooting. These children have very little hope. How are they going to get out of here? They throw stones because they can't do anything else. You can see they live in a ghetto. You can probably hear in the background the demonstrations. And there's a man coming up here asking them, what are you doing? Get away from there. سمعت شو بدك تقول للشعب الأمريكاني؟
ساعدونا يعني ودونا دعم يعني دعم ولاد دعم أصحاب دعم يعني لمخيم يعني.
Send food and send help and send hope here because we have nothing here. These children are going to grow up and know only hopelessness and hate. طب شكرا. Peace, So I just got dropped off at the checkpoint. I'm walking through these crazy gates. It's my first real checkpoint. Oh, Lord, I feel like cattle. After almost 6 hours of traveling from Bethlehem through numerous checkpoints, taxis, buses and trains, I'm finally in Haifa. I met a lovely Jewish girl who invited me to her kibbutz in Nazareth, which I might very well do for the experience. She didn't know I was Arab and said that she never mixes with Arabs and doesn't really know them, except for when she served in the army, which she said that she hated. Good morning. I'm on my balcony in Haifa. This is my second day. You can see the city in the background. It's really quite beautiful. It's a city that I could see myself spending some time in, for no other fact that it's just so interesting the way the people live here, literally side by side, but not even acknowledging each other's existence. I spent some time wandering around the cities and of course starting conversations with random people. Last night I went out and was taken under the wing of some wonderful Palestinian artists. There are so many Palestinian artists here in Haifa, musicians, poets, writers, actors, directors, and all of their work so far, and again I'm just finding out little by little, is an act of very non-violent resistance. All of their songs, their poems, their films. And this is something that really fascinates me as an artist myself. Today is the last day of 2015, and what a way to end the year. The past few days I've completely immersed myself in the Palestinian culture here in Haifa. There's so much art, so much music, so much creativity that I feel very much at home, not just because of my Palestinian heritage, but because of the incredible creative hub that it is. The people here have been so welcoming and so open with me and taken me into their hearts and into their homes. And shown me a side of Haifa that I will never ever forget. The one sad thing about being here in Haifa is that I cannot stay legally. Even though my family is from here, from Palestine, I'm not allowed to stay here. And that's the situation for millions of refugees, Palestinian refugees around the world. We are all dispersed and it's very difficult for us to all connect because we're scattered all over the world. Even within Palestine and the West Bank, we're separated and it's very difficult for people to be able to connect. So I don't know what the solution is. I have been able to find some hope here because I've been able to find the people whose hearts and minds on both sides are open and working towards a solution. And I hope that one day I will be allowed the right of return. But until then, I will visit and I will cherish the memories that I have created here with the incredible people that I've met. Here's to 2016 being the best year yet.